In today's reflection, Labyrinths, Paths of Enlightenment, created, directed, and presented by Reverend Dikki Jo Mullen. Dr. Mullen will share the history and uses of the labyrinth for spiritual growth and enlightenment.
Having begun the journey, turn not back, for the Furies will be your attendants. That's the Pythagorean maxim describing the journey of the labyrinth. A labyrinth is a winding path that resembles a maze, but it's free of the trickery that we see with a maze. Here in a maze you can encounter confusion and be disoriented or reach a dead end. Not so in the labyrinth. There's a single route in and a single route to the center, and then we simply retrace the way to get back out again. The labyrinth is an archetype. It's a divine imprint. Once begun, the path must be completed. Labyrinths have been created by cultures around the world for the past 5,000 or 6,000 years. Some formations are so old that dating is difficult, and many such designs have appeared on ancient coins and then also on vases. In Egypt, the funeral temple of Amenhotep III, which is now in ruins, was a famous early labyrinth. Herodotus, the famous historian of ancient times, recorded 300 rooms in this lost labyrinth of Egypt. Just as the area above ground is said to surpass even the pyramids in splendor and wonder, so was that labyrinth. So the word labyrinth, what does it mean? Where did it come from? It derives from the root word labrus, which is a reference to the double-headed axe carried by members of the bull cult in Crete. The source points to Daedalus, the hero who constructed this complex pathway that contained the savage mythological bull, the Minotaur. Currently, the labyrinth is very popular. It's being rediscovered as an aid in spiritual growth and deeper awareness. An almost forgotten mystical tradition that's struggling for rebirth in our troubled times. What is the secret of the labyrinth's attraction? The patterns, ranging from simple to complex, are magical tools that help to encourage the solving of problems and encourage creativity and empowerment. The act of walking the path of the labyrinth inspires focus. It clarifies the mind, and it might give the insight into the spiritual journey or into a problem faced in the more secular world. The labyrinth is walked in 3 stages, and the practitioner of spirituality will recognize this honoring as the past, present, and future, reflected in the sequence of the labyrinth's design. Entering and following the mysterious winding path toward the center point, concerns and cares fall away. Walking in inspires a quieting of the mind, a cleansing. Trivia is released, little things in the day, and illumination occurs as the seeker enters the center area of the labyrinth. Once standing at the center, stay for a while. Pause to reflect and meditate, and what is meant to be received from higher consciousness and the divine ones will come through. Union happens on the way out. Healing forces and higher energies magically merge, adding to health and power. Positive changes soon make their appearances after walking a labyrinth. The labyrinth is a form of a mandala. It facilitates transformations of the heart, and those who work with these mysterious patterns become adepts at survival and courage. The influences increase each time a labyrinth is walked. The labyrinth path can be followed by clearing the mind and concentrating on the breath. Feel the pace the body wants to move while beginning the walk. The first step involves allowing the mind to become quiet. Simply following the winding path is in itself calming. For those who have difficulty concentrating on a regular meditation, an experience of the natural rhythm and harmony while proceeding through the labyrinth will help. There are 5 different choices to make while considering the walk upon the labyrinth. The first is the path of image. Allow the quiet mind to explore a dream fragment. Talk to the characters which might arise in your dream. Those of us with active imaginations will respond well to this. Then there is a path of silence. Strive to be completely quiet and empty as possible. Reflect on the words of Thomas Carlyle. Silence is the element in which great things fashion themselves together. Then there is a path of prayer. Begin to pray and needs to be fulfilled, whether it's for courage, perseverance, guidance, or release. The labyrinth experience of prayer does seem to expedite an answer to prayers. Then there's escape and release. The walk heals as there's escape from old hurts, mistakes, and sentiments and resentments to occur. The relief forgiveness brings is the goal here. Finally, the walk of labyrinth can be done to find an answer. Sometimes we just don't know what to do anymore. And when truly puzzled, asking for the answer to a dilemma while walking the labyrinth can really bring an incredible, miraculous revelation. As the onset of the 21st century continues, many communities are creating labyrinths as a way for everyone to cope with the challenges of modern life. Travelers to Europe and the Mediterranean area can rediscover traditional labyrinth sites. Among the most famous is that at Chartres Cathedral in France. The woodlawn Chartres labyrinth, illustrated below, has been recreated here in Orlando, Florida. It's at one of the large cemeteries. And if there's no access to a labyrinth, you can get a subtle sense of the practice by tracing the illustration with a pencil, either on a flat diagram or on a mini pencil labyrinth like the one I have here. The labyrinth is an ancient device for spiritual progress, and even this miniature armchair version can create some magical experiences. If you have either a diagram handy, or if you have wants to get going before I even want to start here, start with, I'm using a wand that I like, but a pencil will work, and just beginning to trace the way into the center, going the curves around, pausing at the middle, and then retracing it back. And it might take a couple of tries, but over a period of time, the labyrinth experience is always wonderful. Just a word about mazes, kind of the country cousin to the labyrinth. Mazes are springing up in cornfields all around the United States, and every fall there's quite a bit of material promoting them. And the puzzling walks through the corn stalks are kind of a type of entertainment, and they also help the farm build up a few profits before the corn harvest. The first maze, designed by Brett Herbst of Pleasant Grove, Utah, brought in 18,000 people in 3 weeks to walk through little paths in the cornfield. Thought that was interesting. Herbst formed his own company called The Maze, spelled M-A-I-Z-E, a word play on the word for corn, which is also called maize. And now he makes a living forming the zigzagging footpaths and helps to design them to other hard-pressed farmers. So this is another interesting chapter in the ancient historic observances of mazes and labyrinths. This is astrologer Dikki Jo Mullen in Orlando, Florida. And we have a number of different YouTube videos available, and also my website, Sky Maiden Musings, and Facebook book postings for those who enjoy little insights into the metaphysics and the world of the paranormal.